Today I want to talk about sharing symptoms of overload. So last week when I was still allowed to drive around, I actually missed the turning to my street, despite having driven down that road hundreds of times before. And I realised really quickly that I was actually overloaded. Because one of my symptoms of overload is that I actually get really quickly distracted and can't focus. So we all have really different symptoms, and it's important that you actually know what yours are. Perhaps you get headaches, perhaps you get angry, perhaps you get teary, perhaps your old netball knee or football knee starts to play up, perhaps you go into hives. We all have ways in which physically, mentally and cognitively, if you like, we actually respond with symptoms of overload. So it's really, really useful in your team to actually share what your symptoms of overload are and to give permission to the people that you work with to actually check in when they see them. And it's also really useful to share how you want people to check in with you and what de-stressing technique works. So, for example, if I get a bit into control freak, and I've shared that, sharing that means that you can talk to me about, hey Kath, I'm seeing a bit more control freak. Are you okay? But you also know that when I'm in that, the best thing you can actually do is to let me go for a walk or vent or distract and do something different. So the more we know those, the more we can actually build in a sense of caring without intrusion. And if you need some inspiration, one of my favourite stories around this was a team of nurses going through quite a major trauma. And they decided to set up a version of Survivor, you know, the TV series, and they made an elaborate torch. And the agreement was that when people felt that you were actually over the top a little bit, the torch would appear next to you and you were voted off the island. So build in a bit of humour, have a bit of fun, but it's really useful to know what to do when people are not tracking as well as they can and how to have that conversation.